about you, but I'm so excited. I think we could just call Convo quits now and go home. That was so awesome. Woo! Welcome. I'm not kidding when I say this is my favorite day of the year, and I think if we did Convo every day, I would be totally fine with it. So Dr. Clemens, maybe we could add a little bit more of this. Welcome to Convocation 2018. My name is Regina Kellogg. I'm Vocal Music Coordinator, and it's my honor and privilege to be here today to welcome you to Convo on behalf of Dr. Clemens and our Board of Education. First of all, would you join me in giving Miss Mara Mitchell and the Convo Orchestra and Band a shout out for their work this morning? This year we asked our band and orchestra staff and faculty to help us with convocation music, and we also invited some high school students. So we had some high school students representing all 4 high schools as well. So would you please give them a round of applause too? Where is Connie Van Ingen? Is she here? Staley, folks, Belle Prairie. Connie, it's the song that just won't die, and we might need to be contacting you to help us with a different song, but if you know this song, you are more than welcome to join. I know you've been here. Are you ready for Convo? Here we go. DJ Rule, hit it.
You better be ready. You know it. I used to be wishing for summer, but not anymore. Oh yeah. Those long lazy days can't replace what my heart's longing for.
Chasey Rumbecki, Lyndon West, music teacher, for helping us out on that one. Our next couple of songs that we're going to do, we chose this music from The Greatest Showman. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. Wonderful message of inclusivity and acceptance, and we're going to start the next song. Jason Elam's going to help us with this one. This is The Greatest Show. Winnetonka, Jason Elam.
This is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't fight, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. Your fever dream, can't you see it getting closer? Just surrender, cause you feel the feeling taking over. It's hard, it's freedom, it's blood and opening. It's the preacher, it's the pulpit, and your blinded motion. Someone breathing at the brink of everyone is holding all that you know. So tell me, do you wanna know? It's covered in all the color.
Thank you. The Convo Choir, it's a really hard audition process to be part of this group. The video you have to make and the audition, the music you have to learn, it's seriously filling out a Google document that comes out in the spring. These folks have given up hours of their weeks and hours of their summer, actually, to learn this music ahead of time. So would you please give us another shout out for this Convo Choir? We want to take some time now to kind of center our thoughts on something a little bit more serious. We've been doing this the last couple of years, and it's important. We have several folks that work for North Kansas City Schools in all departments and in all buildings who have given some time to serve in the armed forces. So what I'd like to do right now, if you have served in the armed forces in any capacity, would you please stand and be recognized at this time? We thank you. We thank you for your service. And before we say the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem, this is one of our favorite times for our convocation. Drum lines, are you ready? Get on your feet. Here they come. Would you please be seated? Now we're going to come to a time in our program where we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance together and listen to the singing of the national anthem. Before that we do that, I'd like to recognize Troop 357 that meet at the Presbyterian Church in the Northland. They will be presenting the colors. These students that are in this Boy Scout troop, some are working on their Eagle Scout project, some have already made Eagle, and they are representing Winnetonka High School in Northtown and also Lakewood Elementary. So as the colors pass your row, if you would stand as they pass your row, we're going to stand from the back of the auditorium to the front. And then our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Winnetonka Senior Dylan Brenneman, and then our national anthem will be sung by our very own barbershop quartet made up of Chris Drugamiller at Oak Park and Andy Bowman of Northgate, Jason Elam of Winnetonka, and Andrew Rimbecki of Antioch. Color Guard, present the colors.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, land of the free, and the home of the brave?
Color Guard, please retire the colors. You may be seated. As we end this entertainment portion of Convocation, I want to wish all of you a wonderful 2018-2019 school year. Our next song really could be the theme song of our school district this year. We're going to sing the song "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman, and we're going to feature Mallory McCoy from Topping Elementary, Courtney Zimmerman from Gateway, Chris Dragamiller again from Oak Park High School.
I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in.
Oh, we are bursting through the barricades, reaching for the sun. We are glorious. Oh, and that's what we've become.
Won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place.
Oh, we are glorious.
When the sharpest words wanna cut me down. Gonna send the flood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, gonna send the flood, gonna drown 'em out. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. On to the beat I drum. To the beat I drum.
Oh, this is me.
Words wanna cut me down.
Drown 'em out, to drown 'em out. This is me.
Drum lines, exit. Have a awesome, woo!
good morning. Let's give it up to Regina and her team. Welcome back, North Kansas City Convocation 2018. We are ready to go. Tomorrow we'll have 20,000 students arrive in our buildings, and we're going to be champions for each and every one of them. But last Thursday, one of you sent me a little video that you want me to show because it was the first time you had to answer the bell. And then another one of you decided you would share this with me. I'm quite confident that someone was in a building that had construction still going on at the time when they made this face. Let's think back to when summer started and we were all eager to get back in shape and relax a little bit. And now we're back, and when we get to our buildings, we see our colleagues and we become invincible. And our elementary colleagues are making their anchor charts. And our high school folks are doing public service announcements. I don't know how closely you've been following the news, but Governor Parsons has just signed a bill that will allow us to use minutes rather than days in makeup school. That bill starts in 2019 and 20, not 18-19. But let me share something else with you. We have the most innovative transportation department in Missouri. Well, and I got to tell you, Lunchables came out with a new Lunchable for this year. It's called the Teacher Lunchable. I checked with HR. They said that they will have to confiscate and enjoy these in the evenings. I want to thank the 700 or more folks that we had attend Summer Academy this year. We know if you attend Summer Academy, your professional learning communities look like this. Perfectly in sync. So during leadership this year, we decided to do a team building activity. And so what we tried to do is we asked all of our principals to break up in feeder patterns and to make an anti-aging commercial. Chad said that he would buy whoever won donuts for the entire staff. But what he didn't tell them is that you're also going to be shown a convocation. Having a little trouble with the audio. Even without audio, it gets real good real quick. Remember, anti-aging cream. I certainly believe everybody who was involved with that deserves a couple dozen donuts. Okay, let's hear it for those of you that had back to school night last night. We know exactly who you are because the smile is still stuck on your face. Now that we have finished most of our construction, our classrooms are coming together really well. We finished our in-service. I hope that each and every one of you are going to have the confidence of this young lady to be champions for all students. All right, it's my honor to introduce some of our elected officials. First, we'll recognize from Kevin Corlew. Kevin, if you'd stand, please. Kevin, yes, absolutely. Kevin's a Missouri State Representative, a district parent, and a former board member of North Kansas City. Kevin, thanks for being with us today. I also understand Heather Hall's here. Heather, are you here? All right, as I look around. Well, I think Heather might be in one of the overflow rooms, but Heather Hall, City Councilperson Hall, is here, so let's give her a round of applause. Do we have any other elected officials that I may have missed? Awesome, awesome. Well, moving on, we have some retired administrators here today. If you're a retired administrator that came back to celebrate with us today, would you please stand? We certainly hope we make you proud each and every year as you watch and help support North Kansas City Schools. Our cabinet members are here today. Dr. Daniels is back in the booth trying to figure out how to make that sound work. Matt Fritz is here, our Chief Financial Officer. Dr. Jenny Gaddy over Human Resources. Dr. Tim Gallagher over Operations. Ms. Tammy Henderson, Government Affairs. Dr. Perry Helvitz with Student Services. And Dr. Chad Sutton over K-12 Instruction. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the next lady, my boss, President of our Board of Education, Ms. Jan Kaup. Jan has yep, absolutely. Jan has two sons that graduated from North Kansas City High School and has been on our Board of Education for 10 years. It's only seemed like 2. So please join me in welcoming Jan to the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Clemens, and thank you for your leadership and all of you for getting us off to such a great start to this new year. Good morning. I am Jan Kaup, and I am honored to serve as president of our Board of Education. My board colleagues and I could not be more excited to be here today with you this morning. It is my pleasure now to introduce the other board members, and may I ask you to stand and remain standing as you are recognized. Mrs. Dixie Younger is serving as Vice President. Dr. Terry Ward, Treasurer. Ms. Jane Reinhardt as one of our members. And unfortunately, Paul Harrell, Terry Stone, and Judy Wartek had complications this morning and couldn't be here, but send their greetings. So I appreciate their leadership. I thank you, my colleagues, for your commitment to serve students, teachers, and staff of the North Kansas City Schools. But out of this dedicated group, there is one particular individual that I want to highlight this morning. At this time, I would like Dr. Terry Ward to invite him to the stage. I am pleased to announce that the Missouri School Boards Association recently selected Dr. Ward as this year's recipient of the Paul Morris Community Service Award. This prestigious award recognizes one individual school board member across the entire state of Missouri past or present, who has shown a sincere and outstanding commitment to community service. Dr. Ward has dedicated himself as North Kansas City School Board member for 24 years and has volunteered countless hours in numerous ways to serve our community beyond our Board of Education. He has done us proud and will be recognized as the Missouri School Board Association's annual meeting in October. At this time, will you please join me in expressing our appreciation for Dr. Ward's dedication and service? Whether it's celebrating an award-winning board member or looking out across the audience, I am filled with awe of what I see today. It's actually giving me goosebumps. It's profoundly inspiring to be surrounded by so many people who are dedicated to the children of our community, who have chosen to work with our schools, shaping those who will become our future. Every day, you guide students to dream big, to work hard, and to achieve more than they hoped possible. I see it in your eyes, I hear it in your words, and I feel it in the energy in this room. You help them believe. You rally them forward. You encourage them when they want to quit. The teachers, staff, and administration of North Kansas City Schools are truly champions for our students. To remind you of what impact you have on the lives of students and that you have dedicated supporters in the community and amongst others in this room, please enjoy the following video.
They told me it was going to be difficult. They told me it was going to and just keep fighting. Just don't give up.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock.
Yeah.
You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the brightest flame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
you could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records, sleep I never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
my heart and my soul is. Sports in Kansas City.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
There's a lot more deserving people out there than me that should have gotten the Medal of Honor. And I was awarded the Medal of Honor basically for just doing my job.
You could beat the world, you could beat the world.
Finishing clean double pipe.
Banging on his door. You can
Inside the air, lays it off for Ray. Sorry.
As we begin the 2018-19 school year, I encourage you to seize every moment to be the role model the children in your care deserve. And remember, you aren't in this alone. As you look around the auditorium, be assured that you are part of a big supportive family. We are all in this together, doing our best for students as a team. We are one, North Kansas City Schools. And now I have the honor of introducing our 4 seniors from the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. They have some words of wisdom to share with us. From North Kansas City, Michaela Quiones. From Oak Park High School, Alan Scalzi. From Staley High School, Kylie Taylor. And from Winnetonka High School, Skylar Murphy. Thank you, and have a great year.
Hi. My name is Michaela Quinones. I'm the senior representative from North Kansas City High School, and I am thrilled to have this opportunity to speak to you all today and to tell you a bit about my educational journey. I've spent the entirety of my educational career here in the North Kansas City School District, so I admit that I may be a bit biased when I say that our school district is one of the best in the nation. But I have good reason for placing such confidence in that statement, and I want to share that with you today. I started out at Fox Hill Elementary School when I was 5 years old. That day has to be one of the scariest but most exciting moments of my life so far. Scary because it was all so new, but exciting because I was ready to meet new people, make new friends, and to learn new things. It wasn't long before I really fell in love with Fox Hill and all it had to offer. The big, welcoming library, the fun and games in gym class, recess out at the blacktop. But what I remember most from Fox Hill are the people. Over the course of my elementary school experience, there were several incredible people who took me in as one of their students and taught me how to love learning, whether it was during a lesson in class, a trip to the library, talking to the kitchen staff as I got lunch, or even just a heart-to-heart talk when I needed someone to listen. My teachers understood my style of learning and gave it their all just to ensure that each of their students was happy, healthy, and prepared for what was to come. Because after those first formative years and elementary school ended, there was middle school, just through the woods at Newmark. Now, here's where I have to make a confession. I don't remember a whole lot from middle school. For me, just as it is for a lot of students, middle school was rough. It was fraught with problems I had with friends and struggling to find a place where I felt I belonged in the school hierarchy, and in general, just wondering what on earth was going on. What I do remember, though, are some of my best memories. like participating in some wonderful plays and musicals and theater, making a pyramid out of apples for a SAGE project, practicing in a small group for district honor orchestra, and most importantly, I remember the teachers. I remember my 6th grade science teacher staying with me during lunch once to help me dissect a cow's eyeball because I'd missed the day they'd done it in class. I remember when my 7th grade English teacher would randomly play his guitar for us in class because why not? I remember my Algebra 1 teacher coming to school early each day so that if we had any questions about our homework, she was there to help. I remember learning how to dance to the Bangles' Walk Like an Egyptian in my 6th grade SAGE class. And even then, that's just barely scratching the surface of what I was able to take away from my middle school experience, what those incredible teachers gave to me that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. And then the day came when 8th grade came to a close, and I somehow found the courage to take on a brand new adventure, high school. It was an even greater challenge, however, because while pretty much everyone I'd ever known went on to Staley, I decided to pursue a different course with the International Baccalaureate program and came to my current home at North Kansas City High School. When it comes to these past few years, there is so much that I could say and so much that I want to say. It has been amazing and terrifying and fascinating and mystifying and so complex that it's practically indescribable with the limited time I have to share with you today. So what I will say is this. I've had the time of my life. And now, after 3 years that have been a blur of honors and IB, theater and orchestra, making new friends and meeting new people, here I am, a rising senior. I can't believe there's only 1 year left. I don't want it to end. Because I have learned so much about writing and math and history and science, of course, but also about life, about who I am as a person, about my strengths and weaknesses, about how much can change in such little time. I have had the privilege of getting to learn from amazing, passionate teachers who genuinely care about me and can see my potential and worth, even when I'm at my lowest point. People who want me to succeed, who have mentored me and supported me over these past few years, and who have continued to show me that this is a school district where all students can find a home, a place where everyone is welcome, where the possibilities are endless, and where personal growth and well-being are just as important to a student's education as academics. To this day, each one of those amazing people, from my teachers and administrators to the custodians and bus drivers and other staff members who have had a hand in my education, holds a very special place in my heart. I started out on my first day in this district as a nervous little 5-year-old who loved books about fantasy and adventure, who preferred watching documentaries to cartoons, and whose biggest worry was whether or not she would fit in, if there would be kids who were like her, who shared her interests and would want to be her friend. She was afraid to feel so in the dark about her future, and she was afraid of what changes lay ahead of her. But from that point on, from the moment she first set foot into her kindergarten classroom, her life was changed. And she realized that there was no reason to be afraid because that change was one for the better. Even now, my life is changing. In a year, I'll leave North Kansas City Schools behind and set off for college. I don't know where I'll go exactly or what my major will be. I don't know what I want to do with my life from this point forward. But change is okay. Change is a part of life. And not only has this district changed me as a person, but it has changed itself too, as if it's been growing up with me. Building new schools like the 6th grade centers, remodeling old ones like Northtown, taking up the initiative to provide technology to all students, implementing new school feeder patterns, and beyond. And just as I won't stop growing after I leave, I know that North Kansas City Schools will continue to make progress, to expand, to grow, and to improve. What I want to leave you with today is this. Never let go of that spirit, that quality North Kansas City has to give each of its students the best it can give. Never stop trying to improve. You, as educators, are the ones who have the greatest ability to change our world for the better. You've changed me, made me stronger, wiser, and braver than I ever knew possible. Let's continue to make our world a better place together, one student at a time. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Alan Scalzi, and I'm a senior at Oak Park. For as long as I can remember, I have always held some sort of self-doubt inside my head. Whether it be my apprehension in saying an answer out loud in class, or my lack of confidence in my own abilities as a person, that voice of self-doubt has always been present, limiting how I portray myself. Every Monday in 5th grade, my quiet 10-year-old self would be deathly afraid of being picked to do the morning announcements for the week, so I would purposely attempt to make myself invisible to my teacher, Miss B. Taylor, or as she's better known, Miss T. To my own dismay, one week she decided to pick me, and instead of letting me get out of it like I had wished, she assured me that it wouldn't be that bad. That first day in giving the announcements, I was full of anxiety and fear that I would stumble over my words. But as the week went on, I got used to it and grew more confident in my own voice. A week that I perceived to be one of the most scariest of my life, up to that point, thus became a week that I am so happy to have been given the opportunity to experience. Then in 7th grade, my English teacher, Miss Duffett, provided me with one of my first leadership roles of helping set up and run the map celebration, even though I had no connection with Stuco, who was running it. The time I would have spent in class waiting for the event, I instead spent setting up tables and equipment and watching as other middle schoolers demanded to be let inside before it was time for them to. She saw something in me that allowed her to bring an outsider in helping that day, something that again allowed her to bring in that same outsider the following year, and I'm thankful for the leadership experience it granted me. Most recently, the teacher who has had the biggest impact on me would be Miss Dameron, my SAGE counselor and my gold medallion teacher. When I was posed with the task to create a presentation all about me that included my dreams, I was scared at first. I am the first to admit that the person who I want to become and the dreams I have when it comes to college or a future profession are extremely ambitious, which was why only a few people knew them. That was until I gave my presentation and let a class full of students know just who I aspire to be. Expecting some sort of reaction that showed me my expectations were drastic and high, I was shocked to be met with a teacher who instead fed into my dreams. A teacher who was so excited as my parents when she found out I had gotten my goal ACT score. Although I still believe my dreams to be somewhat far-fetched, because of her, I now know my effort in obtaining them won't go unnoticed. Through the teachers I previously mentioned, the many other teachers I've had, the many administrators, bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria workers, and volunteers I've met in my 12 years in this district, I've been able to change that voice of self-doubt into something of a mere hushed whisper. The connections I've made with my teachers, especially those that occurred when my voice of self-doubt predominated me, will never be forgotten and have formed me into the person you see today. And for that, I thank you all. Now I ask in this new school year to make sure you assure your students, provide opportunities of growth for your students, and most importantly, believe in your students. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Skylar Murphy. I was a Chapel Hill Bobcat, an Antioch Spartan, and I'm especially proud to be a Winnetonka Griffin. I'd also like to give a shout out to Oak Park since my little sister goes there. Early this summer, the world was captivated by the story of the rescue of a soccer team in Thailand. 12 boys and their coach became trapped when a cave they were exploring became flooded after a heavy rainstorm. A massive search and rescue effort was set in motion. Cave divers from around the world flew in to help and miraculously discovered the boys alive after 9 days. Thai Navy SEALs brainstormed and tested possible ways to get the kids out of the cave. Some rescuers were responsible for pumping huge amounts of water out of the passageways. Some people cooked meals and provided temporary housing for the rescuers. Some divers took care of the boys, while others brought in a steady supply of oxygen tanks. Some strung ropes along the passageways so the divers would be able to find their way. Reporters came from around the world and wrote stories about the rescue that captured everyone's attention. We watched the news reports and waited. For a few days, politics, wars, and trade tariffs didn't matter so much. We were unified in the hope that the boys would make it out alive. So how is this relevant to you as you start the new school year? Because this story is an example of teamwork at its finest. Each member of the rescue team made a vital contribution. You do the same. You might not perform tricky rescue operations, but you do bring kids along the path from that first wide-eyed, anxious, exciting day of kindergarten all the way to eye-rolling senioritis. And by the way, you're not just helping a few kids for a couple of weeks. All 3,200 of you here today show up day after day and year after year for the 20,000 students in the district. Just as the rescuers depended on each other to do their part, so do you. Can you imagine if there are no custodians at your school for a couple of weeks? What if no administrative assistants answered the phone? What if no one created a strategic plan for the district? What if, one day, no lunch was served? Can you imagine all the hangry students? Yes, ELA teachers, I know that hangry probably isn't an official word, but don't you think it should be? Seriously, it's so descriptive. I would truly love to mention each and every teacher I've had from kindergarten through last year by name, but there just isn't enough time to do that. Instead, I want to express my appreciation to all of you that have taught me through the years. You all have your strengths. Here are some of them. Some of you cared as much about teaching life lessons as you did about teaching your subjects. Some of you took the time to be interested in me as a person. Some of you challenged me to challenge myself, and I've been able to do more than I thought I could because of your confidence in me. Some of you made learning fun by using creativity and humor. Some of you allowed your students to maintain their dignity when they asked a silly question or gave an answer that was way out in left field. Or maybe when they totally bombed their mini practice set 4 in accounting 1. Not that I would know anything about that. Some of you spend huge amounts of time and energy sponsoring clubs, making a marching band or choir sound amazing, or coaching sports. I've had some great coaches in middle school and high school, especially in tennis and soccer. You've made me a better athlete and a better person on and off the field, and I will always remember you for that. I've never even sat in the classrooms of some of my favorite teachers in this room. I've been blessed to get to know many district employees as neighbors, family friends, or parents of my friends. One of you even held a baby shower for me when I was adopted from China at age 13 months. I've seen you shop at garage sales for items to make your classroom inviting. I've seen you working at your dining room table in the evening, and I know you spent many hours after school to make your maker space or book fair perfect. My time is about up, so I want to leave you with some lines from a song that has become somewhat of a motto for me. The song is Humble and Kind, performed by Tim McGraw. It's filled with lots of advice about being honest, having good manners, going to church, and reaching for achievement while remaining humble and kind. It's the last part of the song that reminds me of you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around. Help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. That is what you do every day. You help us, the next ones in line. You are all superheroes. So put on your capes and buckle your seatbelts for the 2018-19 school year. I hope you have a great ride this year. Thank you, and God bless.
Good morning. One more, so hold tight. I'd like to thank Dr. Daniels and Dr. Clemens for giving me the opportunity to speak today on behalf of all the students in the district, and I'm so excited to be here. My name is Kylie Taylor, and for those of you who don't recognize me, I'm the clever one who tried to bribe Dr. Clemens into giving us a snow day in the last video you saw this past winter. You're welcome, by the way. Throughout my 12 years in the North Kansas City School District, I've had the privilege of attending Fox Hill Elementary, Newmark Middle School, and tomorrow I will start my senior year at Staley High School. I feel as if it was just yesterday I was in Mrs. Mershon's class making Groundhog Day crafts and taking naps after recess. But boy, was that 12 years ago. As I look back on my experiences, I noticed that each school that I've attended has taught me a valuable lesson that I will forever remember, and I've had amazing teachers to help me along the way. For the elementary school teachers, I like to think of these teachers as being the foundations of the skyscrapers we are to become. Without you, we would fall over and crumble. Elementary school teachers are there to help students experience their firsts for everything. Their first time writing their name, their first time learning how to read, the first time playing a sport and learning about teamwork. Some of my personal firsts even include learning how to juggle, receiving my first award as a kid of character, and even being in an orchestra for the very first time. From the fun times at recess to the smiling lunch ladies, our experience in elementary school is like being in a very large family. Our teachers are kind of like our second parents, and we know our classmates like our siblings. Sometimes we drive each other crazy, but overall we love getting to see each other every day. Thank you for treating us as your own and taking the time to build us from the ground up. For the middle school teachers, I don't know how you do it, really. Middle school teachers, from my experience, definitely have the most patience with kids and have a stronger mentality than most. For those of you who don't work in a middle school setting, well, let me paint you a picture. It's chaos, sheer madness. No one ever catches a break, and no one's safe from what's about to happen next. It's exactly like they depict it to be in the movies. Middle school is a transition from which boys seem to become even more immature than they were before. And girls seem to care way more about social norms than their classwork. Oh my gosh, can you believe what she wore yesterday? That's like not fashionably legal. But middle school is also about learning how to be responsible and transitioning into young adults. Sure, it can be a time of mental chaos for everyone, but you all, the teachers, are there every day to help us make sure we're on the right track. You're there to help us through our successes and our setbacks, and you're there to make sure that we can achieve anything we set our minds to. So thank you for putting up with all the sass, all the angst, and all the in-between. Thank you for being our mentors, even when we didn't think we needed it. Without you, we wouldn't be the students we are today. For the high school teachers, I don't think many of us stop to realize how much time you truly dedicate to your job. Not only are you in school for your regular 9 to 5, but you also spend countless hours before school, after school, and even on weekends helping students to do their absolute best in the classroom. Even off the clock, you coach a multitude of activities and clubs, and you spend way too much time grading papers and answering emails about the papers that you have just graded. I'm pretty sure that in order to be a successful high school teacher, you need at least 36 hours in your school day to get everything accomplished. Some teachers even say that they have lives outside of school, that they have children, spouses. Well, you know what? I don't believe it. There's no way. High school teachers truly have the best balancing act I've seen. But the most important part about being a high school teacher, in my opinion, is that you have the ability to understand your students. You help us apply for jobs, internships, colleges, and you help us to understand just how real the real world is. You help us counsel us on life decisions, and in some cases are there for us when we just need a friend. We students may not realize it now, but someday we'll understand how much you truly have helped us to become young adults. High school teachers are the parents that we've never had, and we can't thank you enough for all the dedication you've put and continue to give us. And for everyone in between, there's no way we could forget the amazing staff who dedicate their lives to help serving the kids in our district. Our bus drivers who provide transportation to students who don't have daily access to a car, our custodians who keep our schools looking as beautiful as ever, our counselors who have unlimited sources to help us succeed after high school, the Adventure Club staff members who, in my personal experience, got to know me way too well, and our admins who help to keep our schools up and running even when all the chains break loose. Every staff member in our district is vital, and each one of you helps make up to what I believe to be the best school district in the whole wide world. At this moment, I would like to give a shout out to all the music teachers in the district and who help out with the music departments. Especially every music teacher who's had to put up with my obnoxious self. You know who you are. You hold a special place in my heart. Thank you for dedicating your life to the future musicians of the world. Music is my passion, and I'm hoping to major in music at Tulsa University next fall. Without you, this wonderful program would not exist, and the district provides such a program that I would not be the musician I am today without it. Thank you for allowing students to express themselves through the art form, and please never let anyone try to take it away. It means so much to the kids involved, and it allows everyone of different personalities to come together and make something beautiful. As I think back to everyone I've encountered, there's not one faculty member I have met who I believe didn't love their job. Whether it was Mrs. Mershon's kindness, Coach Lentz's fitness's words of wisdom, Mrs. Eller's Y=MX+B song, Mr. Loving's spur-of-the-moment guitar sing-along sessions, Mr. Frizzy's Bat Children riddles, Mr. Adair's awesome Spotify playlists, Mrs. Helwig's acronyms for the DNA coding sequence, Miss Eichhoff's donut parties for homeroom, Mrs. Jackie's effort to get to know all the students at Staley, and even Mr. Tapp's comical storytelling sessions. There's always a time when a student knows that a teacher truly loves their job and that they're truly there for the students. There are many more people I could name, but Dr. Daniels said I only had 5 to 6 minutes. As I was jamming out to Josh Groban the other day, which is not something I say very often, I realized the song I was listening to had a perfect description of what being a teacher is all about. The lyrics read, "You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I'm strong when I'm on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be." I've had the most amazing 12 years in North Kansas City School District, and I cannot thank you enough for giving me the best childhood ever. I appreciate everything this district has done for me. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Got me in my feelings. Gotta be real with it. Yeah. Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. 'Cause I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always, KB. Do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me. 'Cause I want you and I need you. And I'm down for you always.
All right, let's give a round of applause once again for those amazing students and those nice dance moves.
Who's going to take it? You want me to take it? I don't know if I do have the longest arms. Up, one more. Kylie's not in there. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Let's give one more round of applause for our student speakers. We have so much to celebrate in North Kansas City Schools. We could talk all day about our celebrations, but we're going to mention a few right now. Let's talk about our 6th grade centers. Yeah. You know, our Board of Education really pays attention to our data. And we were taking a look at our data and saw that we had a huge dip between 5th and 6th grade. And so when we started examining it, we started looking at the instructional model that we had. And so I've never seen something get blown up quite this much. We actually now have 2 buildings dedicated to 6th graders. How awesome is that? We are certainly proud to welcome 1,500 6th graders to 2 converted buildings tomorrow morning. That'll be an exciting time and a big change for North Kansas City Schools. Straight feeders. Let's hear it for our straight feeders. Since 1965, when Oak Park High School opened, this district has not had the ability to have straight feeders, an ability to really get to know students from kindergarten all the way through high school. It's been something we've been working on really hard to make happen in the last 10 years. This will help with interventions, it'll help with activities, it'll help with athletics. And what's really, really cool is during our leadership meeting this past couple of weeks, we started talking about elevator speeches for each of our 4 distinct feeder patterns. And so what I would like to do now is welcome our high school principals along with some friends to share their elevator speeches with all of us.
Good morning. My name is Dan Wardick. I'm the very proud principal of North Kansas City High School. Thank you. The Northtown feeder pattern is comprised of Briarcliff Elementary School, Choteau Elementary School, Crestview Elementary School, Davidson Elementary School, West Inglewood Elementary School, Eastgate 6th Grade Center, and Northgate Middle School. So today I have with me Drake McLaughlin. Drake is a student at Choteau, and a little shout out for Drake. And is the son of Choteau elementary teacher Christy McLaughlin, who just happens to be a Northtown grad. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Drake, who will read to you our North Kansas City High School feeder pattern elementary elevator speech.
As one of Missouri's most diverse communities, the Northtown Feeder Pattern is committed to liberating the hearts and empowering the minds of all students to pursue their dreams at the intersection of innovation and tradition. Trust, responsibility, unity, empowerment. We are hashtag Northtown True.
Chris Sarton, and I serve the Oak Park family. The best part of working in North Kansas City schools is that everyone has a voice and is valued. We share those ideals and like to think of ourselves as the Oak Park family, which includes Gashlin, Clardy, Linden West, Meadowbrook, Oakwood Manor, Chapel Hill, Gateway, and Antioch. In the spirit of our family, I'd like to introduce you to Ava Moss, a 4th grader at Clardy. She is a great student and a talented athlete. That is the daughter of Mark and Katie Moss. She is here to share a special message.
For over 50 years, our schools have been entrusted with the high calling of producing the leaders of our community. We collectively commit to inspire the individual potential of all children and empower innovative learners while holding true to the values of tradition, pride, service, and academic excellence in the Northland. This is our promise to the Oak Park family.
For the family and champions for all students.
When I say Tonka, you say nation. Tonka, Tonka. When I say Tonka, you say nation. Tonka, Tonka. My name is Dr. Eric Johnson, and it is an absolute honor to be the privilege of Winnetonka High School. In our feeder pattern, we have Lakewood, Ravenwood, Maplewood, Gracemore, Topping, Eastgate 6th Grade Center, Maple Park. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Christopher Mujita. He is a proud 4th grader at Ravenwood Elementary School. And here's our elevator speech. Communities with the best schools win, and it takes a community effort to transform the lives of our kids. Welcome to our community. In Tonka Nation, we don't just teach subjects, we teach life lessons. We are inclusive of the beautiful uniqueness that makes our community unstoppable.
We create leaders. We're producing champions on the biggest stages, on the field, in the boardroom, and inside Tonka Nation. Tonka Nation. It's not just for schools, it's for life.
Good morning, North Kansas City Schools District. My name is Larry Smith, and I have the honor of serving as principal at Staley High School. Shout out to our entire Staley feeder pattern, where all paths lead to Staley Nation. In Staley Nation, it is truly a family affair. With me today, I have Hank Fowler, 4th grader at Nashua Elementary School. Hank is the son of Becca Fowler, kindergarten teacher at Nashua Elementary School, and Jason Fowler, athletic director at Staley High School. From future to current Falcons, Staley Community Pride is
Our award-winning schools,
student and staff celebrations,
traditions,
involvement, and
support,
we care enough to facilitate relationships and leadership where students
achieve,
thrive,
grow,
dream,
serve,
and explore, continually soaring to greater heights. Hashtag Staley Strong.
Thank you so much. Awesome job, guys. Well, it's a lot of fun to talk about these straight feeders, but let's always remember It's something bigger than 4 individual feeder patterns. We're one North Kansas City Schools. We have to cheer on our brother and sister schools all along the way. There's only one exception, when we play each other. But all the rest of the times, we're one big family. So let's hear it for our high school principals and their friends. Another major change for us next year is the start and stop times. I did not hear one middle school teacher cheer for this one. Our middle school teachers are going to start earlier than they ever have to serve our kids. Let me tell you a little bit about the process in which we went through. We hired a logistics firm that spent 8 months with us, looking at 20, 30 different plans to try to make start and stop times work without adding a lot of additional resources. We collected over 4,000 surveys from our community and our staff, and ultimately we made a decision to best transport all of our kids with the resources available. So let's give a shout out transportation. This truly is a year for construction. I was talking to Dr. Cummings earlier, and we are barely sneaking in under the wire to have school tomorrow at a couple of our sites. We are so fortunate to have strong community support, where we passed our last bond issue at 82% approval rating to accommodate our growth and to improve some of our aging facilities. Let's take a look at some of our new places right now. Rising Hill. Rising Hill was built to accommodate the growth in the Northland. This is a unique building that doesn't really even have hallways. It has houses instead. We are looking forward to greeting over 320 students into that building tomorrow. Next one, Northview. Northview is a similar style to Rising Hill, but it's going to be one of our largest elementary schools, where if you look down at the bottom, the books aren't there yet, but that is our media center, which will be the focal point of our school. Let's go to Eastgate. Eastgate will make history tomorrow as it opens as a 6th grade center. We made some improvements to the office. You can see some new lettering there on the front. We have a new cafeteria, and we have some collaborative space for 6th graders to get together and create. Let's hear it for Gateway. Gateway, we had to add several classrooms, as they're going to have over 900 students tomorrow, a multi-purpose room, and some cafeteria additions. What about Winnetonka? It isn't really the entrance we're looking for, but by winter break, we're going to have an excellent entrance there that is more welcoming, and it's going to better serve for safety and security purposes. So let's hear it for Winnetonka one more time. And then the project that gave me all my beautiful gray hair, North Kansas City High School. This is one of the most touching stories I can tell you today. As you see the old field house come down, I still have my job. I was touch and go when the field house and the community, all right, my joke's terrible. But essentially the community didn't want to see it go, but it's gone now. So phase 1 is now over. We have kids that were in there yesterday for their Jumpstart Day. It was exciting. The most diverse high school in this state is going to have a brand new facility. Let's hear it for our board. Now, if you had a hand in construction, or you had to be delayed to get in your classroom, if you worked weekends moving furniture or cleaning things, please stand up. We owe some appreciation to you. I appreciate your dedication to make sure that we are going to be ready for all kids. Now we have some folks that want to welcome you to their new house.
It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you've been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this.
comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. You heard me? We ain't gotta go out, 'cause what? Welcome to my house. My house. What? Welcome to my house. It's my house.
I want to share a little bit from my heart. I want to thank everybody for choosing North Kansas City. You're the reason for our success and the reason for our tradition. Now, please join me in welcoming former Superintendent Dr. Tom Cummings and his retired friends to the stage to share a North Kansas City tradition, years of service.
Come on, we'd love to have you on stage.
Well, good morning. My colleagues and I are very proud to be here to help you kick off this new school year. As has been said time and time again this morning, the importance of you folks and what you mean to this community and to our young people. So one of the things that I think is not only the hallmark of that dedication, but the length of service. Many of you that start with us retire with us. And we'd like to honor that today by asking and doing our little exercise of asking you to stand at a particular time when we give increments of those years of service. To begin with, let's have everyone that is new to the district this year. This is your first year. Would you stand up and let us say welcome? And 35 years from now, I'd like to see a lot of you retiring from this district at the same time. All right, how we'll do this is in increments of 5 years, and when you hear your year in a particular increment, why stand up and let people know that you're proud to be a part of this district. So those of you that have been with this district for 1 to 5 years, why don't you stand up and let us thank you. Ooh, look at that. How about 6 to 10 years? Look at that. 11 to 15. 16 to 20. 21 to 25. 26 to 30. Look at that. How about 30 to 35? Here we are. Now, do we have anyone that's 36 or plus years? 36 or plus. Oh, look at here. Well, please know that you are making a great difference, and this district has always maintained that the best part of our district are the people that serve in and around our schools. But before we leave the stage, I think another group that we should recognize are these folks standing behind me. These folks have given years of dedication. I would gather to say probably hundreds of years service. 100 collectively, okay? But I would like for you to join with me and all of you. Please thank these folks that have given so much to our school district. Thank you and have a great school year.
Oh. Yeah, you gotta go over here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're passing the curve.
Give me a hug.
You're wonderful.
What a fantastic group of administrators. Let's give it up for Dr. Cummings and his team. It certainly means the world to us that we get up every day and we fight hard for kids to make sure that we make these folks proud. And I know that certainly as the future goes along, we're going to do more and more things to make you proud of what's going on in our school districts. You know, we still have a lot more to celebrate. Let's talk about our graduation rate. It remains strong at 96%. We can find kids and we can get them across the stage. For the second year in a row, Dr. Ward told me I was crazy when I said this, but you guys made it happen. 100% of our kids that graduated last year were accepted into a 2-year school, 4-year school, or the military. Our CTTN group worked really hard with our Board of Education Administration for the second year in a row. Our salaries are at the median of the upper 1/3 of the metro region. Let's hear it for our Board of Education. Last year at Convocation, we said we were working with Apple. We were going to take our existing budget and figure out a way to get a device for every student in our school. So we needed 20,000 devices plus one for every teacher. I am pleased to say by Thanksgiving, we had implemented a 1-to-1 kindergarten through 12th grade in North Kansas City. Let's hear it for technology. And now it all started with Chapel Hill Elementary School. 2 years ago, we got to recognize Chapel Hill for being a Missouri Gold Star school. A few months later, they became a National Blue Ribbon school. Last year, we had the opportunity to celebrate with Fox Hill, as they were a Missouri Gold Star school, and now they're a National Blue Ribbon school. I would ask at this time that Dr. Tony Stansberry from DESE, supervisor, please join me on the stage, along with Heather Stuckey from Nashua, Dr. Sutton, and Ms. Havens. Thanks again for being here.
always great to see you here.
Actually, this time last year I kind of forgot who was up here this time.
Yes, sir. I'll join you on this side.
Well, thank you, Dr. Clemens. It's really a pleasure to be here. You know, as he said, I did get a chance to be here last year and the year before because you had a couple of elementary schools that received the State's Gold Star Award. It's getting to be a habit. I also like to come not only to recognize outstanding performance by staff and schools in this district, but I get a chance to see my old friend Tom Cummings. We go back a long way. Well, the Gold Star program was established by the department in 1991. It aligns with the National Blue Ribbon Schools program sponsored by the U.S. Department of Education. The Gold Star program uses the same criteria for nominations as the Blue Ribbon program, the National Blue Ribbon program. And recipients of the state's award have already been nominated for National Blue Ribbon recognition. And I think probably around September, latter part of September, we should know whether or not this particular school that I'm going to mention will have an opportunity. We'll have an opportunity to know if they got the Blue Ribbon Award or not. And this year, I'm just really proud to say that Nashua Elementary has received this award. Didn't know if that's been announced yet. But
Right up there. We just announced it. As Dr. Stanford.
Well, congratulations to the staff of the Nashua Elementary School. Now, this year, out of many applications, only 8 schools across the state received the 2018 Gold Star Award, so it is very special, and that's why the state commissioner asked that the following statement accompany the presentation of the Gold Star Award, and I quote, "The hard work put forth by the faculty, staff, and students at these outstanding schools, this particular outstanding school this year, deserves our special attention. Their dedication is a testament to continued progress in Missouri Public Schools, and we share a statewide goal of having all Missouri children graduate high school ready to succeed." Having served as a superintendent in the Kansas City area for 29 years myself, I know firsthand that it takes a lot of hard work, dedicated work on the part of the staff, not only at the building level, but at the district level in support of the school to win this award. And I'd like to offer my own special congratulations to the staff of the Nashua School. Thank you for raising the bar for the academic achievement of the students at your school. So at this time, I'd like to present the Gold Star plaque to your superintendent, my valued colleague, asking that he read the inscription on it and present the plaque to the Nashua School staff. And I thank you very much for inviting me to be here, and have a great school year.
In recognition of Nashua Elementary School on being named the Gold Star School of Missouri for the 2017-18 school year. Congratulations, Nashua. Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations. Kristen, congratulations. What folks usually don't know about Missouri Gold Star schools, I'm so glad Dr. Stansbury said this, is that there's only 1 of 8 in the state. I promise you there's no more than 1 north of the river. And I can tell you last year there was 1 of 8 in the state, and I promise you it was the only one north of the river. And the year before that, there was only 1 in the state, and it was north of the river. 1/4% of the schools in this nation get to be National Blue Ribbon schools. There's going to be 3 elementary schools. I'm confident Nashua will get there. 3 elementary schools north of the river, and all 3 of them are right here in North Kansas City. But not to be outdone, our high schools all received national recognition this year. North Kansas City, again, by the Washington Post, is one of the most challenging high schools in the nation. Staley High School, by U.S. News and World Report, is one of America's best high schools. Oak Park High School, by the International Center for Leadership and Education, as one of only 8 model schools in the nation. Winnetonka High School was named an Avid National Demonstration School, the only one in the state of Missouri. Those folks that say public education isn't working aren't in North Kansas City schools, are they? Absolutely. You know, we generally don't talk about state championships at Convocation, but this year we're going to talk about one. As we all know, Staley football won a state championship, but I think it's bigger than football. And that's why I want them to tell their story. It's more than football. It's about overcoming adversity, perseverance, grit, determination, and inclusion. So please draw your attention to the video screens for a short video.
It didn't start with that game. Football teaches us a lot like life. You know, adversity, how to handle with it, grit, perseverance, determination, and it's just a wonderful avenue to teach these things. I think it's the best thing we've ever done in our program. Dealing with adversity, persevering, and you know, just overcoming odds. And I thought it would really reach our players. Ultimately, the brotherhood is about playing for something bigger than ourselves. They played for Daniel. Getting an opportunity for Daniel to score, what that would mean to him. And it's just a way of giving back, our players to give back to somebody that inspires them.
After Pattonville scored, we were in a high pressure situation. And I think that's a big part of coaching and teaching is getting kids to believe in themselves and allowing them to understand that they're more than capable. It's just a matter of getting it out of them. We were able to kind of get a little bit of momentum there, and it worked so well, we did it again.
When we scored, I knew I was going to go for two. I just remember Zach Elam and John Rayburn, their faces. When I told them we're going for two, they're like, yes. And our kids were very confident. I just had a vision from the sideline. He was so wide open, it just seemed like the ball was in the air for 10 minutes.
It's caught! It's caught! Staley, 36. Pattonville, 35.
It worked perfectly.
Oh my gosh!
Just to see it all come like that was just exciting, and it was just incredible.
JD was a young man that joined our program last year as a senior. He had given up on football, thought he'd never play again. Just shows about somebody starting over, persevering, fighting through all those things that follows a young man, and starting new.
The Falcons are state champions.
If you were a part of that wonderful experience, please stand to be recognized. Last year can certainly be remembered as a year of student protest. Districts all over the nation didn't know how to handle providing students voice without consequence. I was certainly proud of North Kansas City for the way we allowed our students to express themselves without consequence and making a true, safe learning experience for all. And when we do good things for kids, good products usually come about. I would like to introduce James Long from Winnetonka High School, a junior, to share something that he wrote during our student protest.
Hi, my name's James Long. And this is a poem that I wrote titled Nation of Desensitization. April 20th, 1999, a day that time will forever bind, the day 2 students laid waste at Columbine, the day that should have opened our nation's eyes, where now we are stuck in a time of lies, when the ones in power can't tell if a threat is something they should heed, or someone just making fun of the real ones in need. Thoughts and prayers, words that plague, social media, words that have become so bland you might as well be reading them from an encyclopedia. Those words are tweeted out by those that night when the shooting is almost forgotten by the next morning's light. Don't you tell me that this is you standing up for what's right when the most you'll do to put up a fight is to type some words in hopes to get a like. April 16th, 2007, the day a student sent 32 lives to heaven, whether they were student or staff. I find it hard for people to laugh still at these jokes told by people who have never had their heart broke by someone who comes into their school in cloak and decides to end the lives of their fellow kin. It can all start at the drop of a pen. After that, the cycle begins again, a cycle where someone seeks attention, even if their name is something to mention in the history books of what we can only hope to be a better tomorrow, a tomorrow that isn't filled with endless sorrow to those who have their loved ones stripped away. I want to start building this better tomorrow today. Seeing students on the news in protest gives me hope, where we finally have reached the end of this tightrope, a balancing act of being afraid or learning to cope, where we no longer have to live in fear, where school safety is in the atmosphere, where everyone can finally adhere to something called common sense, a future where firearms aren't so easily dispensed, a future that prevents events of masses dying and leaving their communities broken and crying. Sometimes I think what we need is a great speaker to act as a representative, a teacher, someone who can lead this nation and bring us all to the realization that we need to take action. And while it may not be to everyone's satisfaction, we cannot just let more people die in masses due to some laws that need to be redacted, laws that when they were enacted, a firearm wasn't something that could shoot in rapid succession, killing dozens of people in one session. Everyone wants their child safe, and when the day comes where my child goes to the place that now is constantly under threat from killers still to come yet, all I want is for the next generations to be able to see us now in our presentation. And even though I put all of this to accusation, unless something changes, we will continue to live in a nation of desensitization. Thank you.
I think we all realize this is why student voice is so critically important in public schools today. Thank you very much, James. You were awesome. Yeah. Just as we expect from our students, we have to continue to grow as well. When we stop growing, we limit the experiences of our 20,000 students in which we serve. What does it mean to be champions for all students? Well, when you get to be superintendent, you get to go to a lot of meetings in Springfield, Columbia, Jeff City, St. Louis, and so you get a lot of windshield time, and you get to think a lot. And so when I'm driving and I'm thinking about our mission statement, champions for all students, the word all sometimes starts to get under my skin a little bit. Are you guys familiar with getting a little lump in your throat when you don't feel exactly comfortable with what's going on? And when I get that lump in my throat, it's usually around equity and inclusion. We do really, really well for almost all of our kids, but sometimes I feel like we miss a few groups of students. And I think it's okay to have that emotion as long as we're willing to work on it. So we're going to spend a little bit of time today talking about equity and inclusion and some work that we're going to start doing this year. I'm really thankful that our Board of Education this summer really took a long look at equity and inclusion and really started to help me understand the direction in which they'd like us to go. I think our Board of Education deserves a huge round of applause for giving us three goals on equity and inclusion to work on this year. I'm excited to announce a partnership with the Educational Equity Consultants. They're actually going to come in and train 60 of our staff members to be train-the-trainer models. The coolest part about all of this is it's not just for teachers, it's not just for administrators, it's going to be for every different division in North Kansas City, from our school-age childcare to our custodians to our maintenance bus drivers. Everybody's going to be a part of this equity and inclusion work, because I know we can get this work done for kids, and we need to do it. If we're going to say we're champions for all students, this equity and inclusion piece has to be brought to the forefront. And I completely understand that this is going to be very difficult work. It's going to be some of the hardest work that we've ever done, but it's the right work to do for our students and our community. And we're going to take a little bit look at our data right now to understand why this work's so critically important. North Kansas City is the third most diverse school district in the state. We have the most diverse elementary school at Crestview Elementary. We have the most diverse high school in North Kansas City High School. See how many of our other schools fare as compared to the state. Our student population is 57% white, 13.5% black, 15% Hispanic, 10% multiracial. But the cool part about North Kansas City is that 15% of our students speak 2 or more languages when they come to us. And 126 different languages are spoken by our students every day. But as we start to look at our teacher ethnicity, it doesn't look the same. If our teaching population doesn't mirror our student population, then we have to commit as adults to learning more about equity and inclusion so that we can serve for champions for all students. Absolutely. I'm going to show you a little piece of data here that's really not flattering. I'm going to give you a second to read through it. This is constantly on my mind. When we say we're champions for all kids, some of these numbers would be contradictory to that statement. And so I've figured out that it's got to be one of 3 reasons. 1, we don't care, which I absolutely know is not the case. 2, we don't believe all kids can learn, which I absolutely believe is not the case. Or 3, we're going to have to start understanding more about our unconscious biases, and North Kansas City is going to give you the tools to make that happen for every student. But it's a bigger issue than skin color or gender preference. We now know that students that have 2 or more traumatic events are less likely to be successful in school. We know that 48% of our students are living in poverty. And when I come visit each and every one of your buildings for superintendent's advisory, the number one thing you tell me is that the mental health of our students is becoming more increasingly difficult to manage within a classroom. We have some great strategies that we're going to help you out. We're doing this work for the right reasons. We're doing this work to make sure that we can say we're champions for all students.
I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are. And you don't have to change a thing, the world can change its heart. No scars, so you're beautiful. We're stars and we're beautiful. Another round of bullets hits my skin. Fire away, 'cause today I won't let the shame sink in. We are bursting through the barricades and reaching for the sun. We are warriors, yeah, that's what we've become. But we don't see the light that's shining. It's deeper than the eyes can find it. For we are glorious. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down,
every student matters.
Woo! I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me, look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. I know that I deserve your love. There's nothing I'm not worthy of. You don't have to change a thing, the world could change its heart. I am brave, I am bruised. No scars, so you're beautiful.
is me.
So I had a couple of opportunities this summer to see Tyrone Howard and to really start to have a conversation with him about how these unconscious biases limit the amount of kids that are in our AP courses, and now these unconscious biases limit how many students are in our gifted programs. But then he started to explain to me it's bigger than just unconscious biases. There's this thing that is contributing to unconscious biases called microaggressions. And although these aren't meant to be harmful to our kids, they're unintentional, but there are sometimes we say things to kids that don't make them feel welcome in our classrooms or gives them some thought that they don't belong. And I'd like to show a few of those on the screen right now. We're certainly not asking everybody to be sympathetic. We're not asking you to lower expectations. And we certainly aren't asking you to complain about what kids don't bring to the classroom. But let's celebrate what they do. And let's move from sympathetic to empathetic. Let's make sure that our students know that we respect and demand the best that they can provide us, that we show them compassion, and we make sure that they're ready to go for the year. This is kind of cool. I have people coming up here. I am so excited about this work, and I know that each and every one of you are going to help us get this work done for kids, because here's what I know. In North Kansas City, when we put our mind to something, it happens. And I'm going to give you some examples, and this is the time I want to be really interactive with you guys. I'm going to ask you a question at the end of each slide, and I want to hear from you. Let's start with the first one. You know, there was many people that said when North Kansas City started growing and free and reduced lunch count that there was no way we would be able to continue to compete with the other suburban school districts in our area. Our 3rd through 5th graders on free and reduced lunch outperform the state average of all kids. Is that not incredible? If we can do this work, can we be champions for all kids? Tom Cummings started this work with Achievement Plus schools, and we're going to carry it forward to make sure every student is successful. Then we started receiving more and more ELL students in North Kansas City. And then they came to us again and said, wow, North Kansas City is really going to struggle. There's so many students in their district that don't speak English. And I don't know how we're going to get it done. Our ELL students outperform the state average of all students in North Kansas City. Not ELL compared to ELL, but our ELL students compared to the state average of all students. 3 years ago, one of my dearest friends stood in front of the Board of Education and said we were the laughing stock of the Suburban Conference. Our activities and athletic programs were not where they needed to be, and that we were going to continue to struggle and lose kids if we didn't get it fixed. Not that way anymore, is it? If we can do this work, can we be champions for all kids? There was a time when we were referred to as the valley between the school district to our east and to the west. And I can't tell you how much that hurt. I know that we fought and fought and fought with that peace. North Kansas City has 5 elementary schools in the top 25 of the state. There's only 6 north of the river, and we have 5 of them. If we can do this work, can we be champions for all kids? 10 years ago, we created a straight feeder pattern for the Staley High School community. For the last 10 years, we've been working to make it happen for everybody. Lots of hard work, lots of dedication from many, many people, support from our Board of Education to make it happen. It's happened. If we can do that work, can we be champions for all kids? There are truly people in our community that do not believe that all students can learn. In North Kansas City, we believe they all can.
I'd like to introduce Miss Gianna Copeland, that's going to help us out. Gianna is a 3rd grader at Wynwood Elementary School. Are you ready?
I close my eyes and I can see a world is fading up for me. Then I
Is Brian Mercer still here? Brian, you give us a wave. I know we had our PTA president, Brian Mercer, here, and we sure want to give him, he's the busiest guy on Twitter I've ever seen in my life, but if he's here, we certainly want to recognize that. Well, as we conclude today, I want you to know I stand here as your partner in education, and I am so excited that we're going to be champions for 20,000 kids. You're going to have to work hard this year, but you need to remember to take care of yourself. Let's have an outstanding year in North Kansas City.